Welcome to Chicago. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Hawkins. I'm a traveling singer-songwriter, and while you'll often find me exploring different countries around the world, today I'm here in my home country, but exploring a new city.
I'm working on my foreign voice.
As a New Yorker, I'm particularly excited about exploring one of the other big cities in my country. I know that there is so much to see and do here in Chicago, and I don't have too much of an itinerary. I think I'm gonna just do some wandering around, some exploring, and definitely some eating.
I've been sitting on a highway, watching cars go by, thinking living in the fast lane could have kept me from hitting rewind.
It's kind of a perfect golden hour right now, so I'm walking to the Riverwalk. And I think if you know one thing about Chicago, you might know that this river is very famously dyed green every year on St. Patrick's Day. It is clearly not St. Patrick's Day today, but one year I would love to be here for that. A lot of these big boats here, you might even be able to hear, they are architecture tours, which is a really popular thing to do here in Chicago. I'm pretty sure I did one years ago when I came to visit. I know I did a boat tour. I just don't know if I remember all the details. I also just overheard a very cute child say, "Mommy, are there sharks in there?" To which his mom, very straight-faced, replied, "No, there are no sharks in there." I kind of feel like I've been feeding myself Chicago propaganda each time that I've been here, which is to say, I've only come when the weather is absolutely gorgeous. And I know that my perception of Chicago is that it's a lovely, beautiful, chill summer destination, which is not exactly accurate for a good 6 months out of the year. But I kind of like living in ignorance because I know Chicago winters are very, very bad. I really have to say just how beautiful this walk along the river is. I mean, we do have pretty perfect weather and the sun is just going down, which is lovely. But I'm really impressed by how calm this area feels, despite the fact that we're in the center of a major city. Even with all the people that are drinking and out on boats and out for their summer enjoyment on a Friday night, it's just really peaceful. I did start this trip off with a trip to visit the Bean, probably the most iconic landmark here in Chicago. And fun fact, some of you may not know that the actual name for the sculpture is not the Bean, but Cloud Gate. It is a very, very cool thing to see. I am definitely someone who is in favor of doing the touristy thing, in addition to wandering around and finding some local spots as well. I figured I do want to do one other major touristy stop here in Chicago that I have not done before, which is to climb up to the observation deck at the Willis Tower. There's something about Chicago that I can't quite put my finger on, but it feels so different, obviously from New York, but from so many big cities that I've been to. For instance, I'm in the very, very central part of the city right now, and the streets are empty. Now, granted, some of that might be that it's a weekend, and so this is probably a much busier area during the work week. But this is very surprising to me, how empty the streets feel. I think the other thing is that the city is very clean. And don't get me wrong, I would never hate on my hometown of New York City, but the streets do look a bit different here, I do have to admit. And I don't know if it's because Chicago has very, very unique architecture, or if there's some other factor, or maybe it's the fact that it's just clean here. But there's something about the city that just reminds me of a movie set. And I hope this is coming across as all positive. But it's so interesting to me to walk around here, and it feels semi-familiar, but still like a completely different world to me. Give a shout out to this 7-Eleven awning because it just started absolutely downpouring and I had to take shelter under there for a few minutes, but I think it's clear now. As I'm walking around this neighborhood, I am realizing it's definitely the equivalent of, you know, Fide in New York City, which is a neighborhood that's going to be a lot emptier on weekends when the people that work in the area aren't there at their offices. So to be fair, I think that this is a particularly empty neighborhood, and the rest of Chicago is not like this.
A lot of things can feel like summer. Blue skies, a warm rain. It's so easy to hold on to what you know is gonna change.
Gotta be honest, not 100% sure how rainy day skies are gonna aid in the observation deck experience. We'll see. I just went downstairs to the box office for the Sky Deck, and I did learn that even though the sign says that tickets for adults start at $32, it is a fluctuating price. So on the weekends and at certain times of day, it is more expensive, and it's actually $55 right now because it's Sunday. I think it's slightly cheaper if you book your tickets online, like maybe $5 cheaper. Regardless, I've decided it's cloudy, it's rainy. I don't really think today is the day to splurge on this particular activity. So instead, I'm gonna go grab some food, and then in a little while, I think there are a few rooftop bars with some pretty cool views that could work as a nice alternative to this plan. Hilariously, the sun has come back out, so it'll be a nice sunny walk to lunch. Right now, I'm walking back to the River North area. I'm leaving the Loop, which is the central downtown area. I've been doing most of this trip on foot, not because there isn't fantastic transportation here. I just really feel like walking and being out in the now sunny weather. Very famously, Chicago has the L, which is their metro here. There are also buses as well. It's definitely very easy to get around to other neighborhoods in the city, and there is a lot more to see than just this immediate central vicinity. I do remember last time I was here hanging out in a neighborhood called Wicker Park, which is supposedly a hipster, artsy neighborhood that I really liked a lot. I don't know if I'll get there on this trip, but there's a lot to see here in Chicago. It's a very big city. I will most definitely be back. I've made it to the Magnificent Mile. This stretch here is full of luxury shopping and hotels, and you can tell it's a much larger boulevard than the other streets I've been walking down. It's definitely a tourist destination. I don't think I came here last time, but this time it's on the way to my next destination.
All these hands of mine, how they tell the time. All alone, sometimes I slipped away. And as I moved around, I swore I liked the sound, but I just can't get myself to say the name.
I had been hoping that this part of the video would be my opportunity to share a Chicago tourist hack with you all, but instead it turns out that I am sharing the fact that this pretty well-known hack is no longer an option. In previous years, if you wanted a cheaper option instead of visiting the observation deck at the Willis Tower, you could come here to this building that used to be called the John Hancock Building. They used to have a bar here called the Signature Room. It was beautiful. It was many, many floors up, so you had an incredible panoramic view of the city, and all you needed to do was buy a drink to sit there and enjoy all the views. However, unfortunately, this bar no longer exists. The building is now called 360 Chicago, and of course it still has incredible views, but to see them, you do have to pay a cover. So what I've decided to do, it's still gonna cost me about $55, but that does include a cocktail from the beautiful observation deck. So I can convince myself that it's still the cheaper option as opposed to visiting the Willis Tower observation deck, also for $55, but without a drink. The observation deck also has a cool experience called Tilt, where you lean out against a very sturdy piece of glass and you can look down at the city below. It's definitely not for my friends with a fear of heights, but for everyone else, I do think it looks pretty cool to do. It's roughly $15 more on top of whichever ticket you choose. Personally, I don't think I will be doing that today, but I do like that I can watch the other people that have decided to do it.
When were you out of the blue, and how did you stay? 'Cause I've been strong, but this moving on has guided me astray. And it's taken me away. Oh, these hands of mine, how they tell the time. All alone, sometimes I slipped away. And as I moved around, I swore I liked the sound, but I just can't get myself to say the name.
I'm now standing outside of Tribune Tower, which is not only a very beautiful building from an architectural standpoint, it's also a bit of a scavenger hunt. There are 150 different stones embedded in the walls here from famous structures around the world. I'm really enjoying just going on this mini scavenger hunt, looking at all of the places and trying to see which ones I've actually been to. They have stones from the pyramids in Egypt, from the Arc de Triomphe in France. They even have stones from Angkor Wat in Cambodia, and I was there just a few months ago. So this feels very, very cool. One of the things that I really do recommend, despite the touristy nature, is visiting Navy Pier here in Chicago. It's just so beautiful, and it's really perfect weather because there's a slight breeze out on the water, but we have incredible sunshine. There's a lot to do here on Navy Pier. I do kind of love that you can grab a drink and walk around with it as long as you stay on the pier. That's definitely not true in the rest of the city, but it's kind of its own little oasis, almost like being at an amusement park or something like that, because there is, of course, a Ferris wheel as well. So there's lots to do. There are restaurants. It's definitely a good family-friendly spot. It's also just really beautiful. Standing here on beautiful Navy Pier feels like the perfect opportunity to say thank you all so much for watching. I really love this city. I don't know what it is. It's just so beautiful. The people are beyond kind. I just really love Chicago. As always, the music in this video is my own original music. You can find it wherever you get music online by searching for me, Claire Hawkins. It's also, of course, linked down in the video description along with all my social media so we can stay in touch. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll talk to you very soon.
I'm working on my foreign